All right, let's talk about something that sounds a little dry but is actually a huge deal. Public sector budgeting. I mean, we're talking about a real clash of ideas here, one that decides where billions of your tax dollars end up. So yeah, let's get right into it. So let me ask you something. How would you even begin to budget for a hospital or a school? I mean, really think about that. It's not about making money, right? So how do you do it? It's a genuinely tough question.
That's the whole point, isn't it? A for-profit company has it easy, in a way. Success is just profit, dollars and cents. But a hospital, success is saving a life. A school, it's a child who learns to read. Those are qualitative goals, and that completely flips the script on how you plan your spending. It makes things complicated.
So all of this really leads us to what you could call the public budgeting problem. It's this whole unique set of challenges that a normal business just, well, it never has to deal with.
Okay, so here's where it gets really tricky. The goals are fuzzy, they're qualitative, so the outputs, things like great patient care or a quality education, are just incredibly hard to pin down with a number. How do you measure that? And if you can't measure it, how on earth do you draw a straight line between the money you spend, the inputs, and the results you get, the outputs? It's almost impossible. Which means, most of the time, budgets end up focusing on the only thing they can measure, the cash available to spend.
So to deal with all this complexity, organizations have, for a long time, relied on one traditional method. So let's meet the first contender in our budgeting showdown, the old standby, incremental budgeting.
The whole philosophy here is just super simple. It's basically, hey, what did we spend last year? Okay, great. Let's just do that again, but maybe tack on a little extra. You literally take last year's budget as your foundation and just tweak it. Add a bit for inflation, maybe some for a new project, and you're done. Okay, let's walk through a quick example. Imagine a school. Last year's salary budget was $1.5 million. Got it? This year, they need 2 new teachers, so pop, add $60,000. Then you factor in, say, a 5% pay raise for all the staff. Boom, just like that, you've got your new budget. It's fast, it's easy, no fuss.
And this right here, this is the real trade-off, the good and the bad of it all. On the one hand, yeah, it's quick, it's cheap, anyone can understand it, and it keeps things predictable. But, and this is a huge but, the downside is massive. It just assumes that everything you did last year was still needed and done perfectly. It gives absolutely no reason to try and find savings. Any waste, any inefficiency from the past, it just gets copied and pasted into the new budget, forever.
So as you can imagine, people started noticing these flaws. Especially during tough financial times, like after World War II, they realized this old way just wasn't cutting it. It led to a search for something better, something different. And that search gave us our next contender, the radical challenger, zero-based budgeting.
And really, the name says everything you need to know. You start from zero, a blank slate, nothing, and I mean nothing, gets carried over from last year. Every single line item, every single dollar has to be fought for and justified from scratch every single year. It basically forces every manager to prove, yes, what I'm doing is still absolutely essential. And this is what gets to the very core of the zero-based mindset. It's a relentless attitude of asking tough, even uncomfortable questions, like, is this activity even necessary anymore? Seriously, what would happen if we just stopped doing it? Is there another, maybe better way to get this done? This constant questioning is what makes it so powerful, but also so incredibly disruptive. So how does it actually work? Well, it basically happens in 3 stages. First, managers have to break down everything their department does into what are called decision packages. Think of them like little business cases that explain the costs, the purpose, the alternatives. Then all those packages go upstairs where senior management has the fun job of ranking them, from most critical to least important. And finally, they start handing out the money. They start at the top of the ranked list and just keep funding packages until the money's all gone. If your project is too far down the list, sorry, no funding this year.
Okay, so there you have it. Our 2 contenders are in the ring. In one corner, we have the established traditionalist, incremental budgeting, and in the other, the radical upstart, zero-based. So let's put them head to head.
And man, when you see them side by side, the differences are just night and day. Incremental is all about looking backwards. Zero-based is all about looking forwards. Incremental is fast and cheap. Zero-based, slow and expensive. Incremental just accepts the status quo, while zero-based challenges absolutely everything. So the outcome is pretty clear. Incremental gives you stability, but it's potentially super wasteful.
Zero-based gives you efficiency, but boy, is it complex and disruptive. So, who wins? Who takes the crown in this budgeting showdown? Well, the truth is, in the real world, it's just not that simple. It turns out the smartest answer isn't about picking a winner at all.
You know, the ACCA performance management team, who we're drawing from here, they put it perfectly. They say, neither budgeting method provides the perfect tool. And that's really the key takeaway. Neither one is a magic wand. They both have some serious strengths, but also some really big flaws.
So what's the smart solution? It's a hybrid. The most effective organizations, they don't choose one, they use both. For the day-to-day, year-to-year stuff, they stick with the simple incremental method. It's stable, it works. But then, every 3 to 5 years, they unleash zero-based budgeting for a full-on strategic deep clean. It's their chance to question everything, clear out the old waste, and reset. Then they go back to the simpler way. It's really the best of both worlds.
And that really leaves us with one last question, and this one's for you. When you think about your tax dollars, the money that funds your local schools, your hospitals, all those public services, which method would you demand they use? Would you prefer the easy, stable path that might carry some waste, or the disruptive, painful, but ultimately efficient deep clean? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.